The next attack that we're going to look at tonight is called cross-site request forgery, or CSRF. This attack exploits trust that a site has in a user's browser. In this attack, unapproved actions are transmitted from the trusted user to the site. Since the user is trusted by the site, the actions are thought to be legitimate, and therefore they're accepted and acted upon by the site. So let's quickly look at this diagram to get a better idea as to how this happens. Before an actual cross-site scripting request forgery attack can actually occur, there's a prerequisite. The prerequisite is that the victim has to gain the trust of the website. Therefore, they have to at least have logged into a website that they have a username and a password for, and obtain a valid session for that website. From there, a victim usually ends up navigating to a site that contains a CSRF attack link, and he goes to a site that's probably controlled by an attacker, and at that point they will usually click on a malicious link, unbeknownst to them that there's something happening in the background. What ends up happening is once they click on the link, the attacker will send a command through the session that has already been established through the victim's browser directly to the website, and some action is being taken upon the website. CSRF attacks are dangerous within themselves. However, they're made more powerful when combined with a cross-site scripting attack. So let's look at the Mickey Twitter worm of 2009. What happened in that attack was the attacker actually logged into Twitter and infected a profile on the site via a cross-site scripting vulnerability. When the victim logged into Twitter and visited the page, their profile actually got infected also with the cross-site scripting vulnerability. The script actually ran and called on the browser to call on a script that was stored on the attacker control server. When that script ran, the server script would send requests for the posting of certain tweets to the victim's browser, and then the victim's browser would automatically perform the action, and the tweets were posted on the victim's Twitter account. So here we see a very brief example, a real-life example of actually how you can combine two different attacks, cross-site scripting with CSRF, to form one very powerful attack. Now let's look at our demo. The goal of this demo is to show the execution of a $4,000 funds transfer via a special message board posting. The scenario is as follows. The victim has already logged into his financial institution and is searching a popular message board for some investment tips. The first step of the attack is the attacker will insert an infected message into the message board, and that's what we're going to do here. So in this field, what we're going to do is create a title for our press release, which hopefully will attract someone to go ahead and click on it. So here we're going to call it No Trust Bank Press Release. So the body of our message really doesn't matter for the most part. The only thing that does matter is the actual CSRF script that we're going to embed in the bottom of our body. So for simplicity's sake, I have here some text that I've pre-written. So it's going to be something like this. So the actual important part again is the actual CSRF script, which is what we see down here. It's actually an image that's 1 pixel by 1 pixel that's going to be embedded, that's actually going to transfer your funds, as you can see from here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this whole piece of text here, and put that in our into our message. So the last thing I need to do is submit this message to the message board. As you can see, there's no messages here. So once we submit this, you should see it pop up here, and now it's posted for anybody to see. And there we go. Now that the message has been made available on the message board, we're just waiting for a user to go ahead and click on it. Before we go ahead and do that, what we're going to do is we're going to actually turn on a tool here called Web Scarab, which will actually capture all the HTTP request traffic, so that we could actually see the $4,000 request being sent. So now that we have turned it on, I'm going to go ahead and click on the message. And now, as we can see here, WebScribe has actually clicked on the message, or has captured the HTTP request, and we're going to actually accept the changes and send it to the application. The application is processing the request, and what we normally will see is the actual request, or the actual press release that the user would see. But as soon as the message gets processed, what we see here is another request that's been popped up or captured by WebScarab, and it actually, if you see up here, we see that the request for $4,000 fund request was actually captured by WebScarab. Again, all of this is happening after the user has seen the press release, and this is being submitted on his behalf behind the scenes. Again, all of this is happening without the user's knowledge. And this is the end of our CSRF demo.